Let's take our Bibles and get them ready in 1 Samuel 17 this morning. And what I want, hopefully we'll get across this morning is that just like David, we need to look at our own personal Goliaths, those giants that are in our lives. They're not always a person. A lot of times they're circumstances. Instead of looking at them from our own strength and what we have to offer towards them, we need to look at those same Goliaths in the light of God's strength. And that's what David does here. And so there's a lot to read, so let me get it to you really quickly. It says that David rose up early, verse number 20, in the morning, and left the sheep with the keeper and went as Jesse, his dad, had commanded him. And he came to the trench as the host was going forth to fight, and shouted for the battle. For Israel and the Philistines had put their battle array, army against army. And David left his carriage in the hand of the keeper of the carriage and ran into the army and came and saluted his brethren. And as he talked with them, behold, there came up the champion, the Philistine of Gath, Goliath by name, out of the armies of the Philistines, and spake according to the same words, and David heard them. And all the men of Israel, when they saw the man, fled from him, and were sore afraid. And the men of Israel said, Have ye seen this man that is come up? Surely to defy Israel he has come up, and it shall be that the man that killeth him, the king will enrich him with great riches, and will give him his daughter, and make his father's house free in Israel. Imagine that. We're in tax season right now. Imagine doing something and the power of the Lord that would give you a tax-free status for the rest of your life and your family. And so David spake to the men that stood by him, verse number 26, saying, What shall be done to the man that killeth this Philistine, and taketh away the reproach from Israel? For who is this uncircumcised Philistine, that he should defy the armies of the living God? And the people answered him after this manner, saying, So shall it be done to the man that killeth Goliath, or killeth him, sorry about that, killeth him. And Eliab, his eldest brother, heard when he spake unto the men, and Eliab's anger was kindled against David, and he said, Why camest thou hither? And with whom hast thou left those few sheep in the wilderness? I know thy pride and the naughtiness of thy heart, for thou art come down that thou mightest see the battle. And so if you think about it, Eliab, in his embarrassment that he's so afraid of Goliath, lashes out at David for not being afraid, and even accuses him of just simply being a guy who wants to watch the battle and has no real help to offer. In verse number 29, and David said, What have I now done? Is there not a cause? And he turned from him toward another, and spake after the same manner. And the people answered him after the former manner. David's trying to tell him there's a cause here, and we have the living God. And verse number 31, and when the words were heard which David spake, they rehearsed them before Saul, and sent for him. And David said to Saul, listen to this, Let no man's heart fail because of him. Thy servant will go and fight with this Philistine. David, the smallest one out there, Saul, the largest one out there, having a conversation about what's going to happen. And Saul is in his tent. He's the most worthy challenger to this Philistine. Yet he's in his tent, and the men are all afraid, and nothing's happening. And David is saying, Hey, look, I'll do this. I can do this. I've got God on my side. And I think that's what we need to catch from all of this. We have God on our side. If God be for us, who can be against us? And that's not just whose, it's what can be against us. Of course, for David, Goliath was a giant man with lots of experience in battle, but God was bigger, as we know how the story plays out. And I think that if we were willing to actually consult the Lord and walk with the Lord and honor the Lord, we would see the Lord do great things for us, and we would experience great victories. And so let that be your encouragement today. Stop looking at your Goliaths in your life with your own strength, and look at them with God's strength. And I think we'll see a lot more victory. Have a great day.